Ding dong, the Douda is dead, but so is Rob. So for Alicia, it's off with these niggas' head. What's good, y'all? It's your good sis Erica Vane coming to you right here on Erica Vane TV with another The Shot video. I kind of took a break, but now we back and we are covering season 7 of The Shot. This will be my episode 1, the season premiere breakdown. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on your bell notifications so you don't miss out on any of my The Shot content and conversation. And y'all, we have a lot to discuss. It took me a minute to get on camera and talk about this episode specifically because I think Tiff was about to break me. Tiff was really... Just a real quick share. Most of y'all know, but if you're new here, you'll just be finding out. But I'm from Baltimore, Maryland, and I actually lost an ex a few years ago to gun violence on the streets of Baltimore, Maryland. And I remember very vividly going through what we watched Tiff go through in this episode. And I still charge that as some of the most dark, depressed, hopeless days and weeks of my life after his passing. So it was really rough for me in watching this first episode, specifically when Tiff would come on screen and watching Hannah just beautifully perform the grief, the loss, the rage, the anger, but then ultimately like the void that kind of like takes over for a woman in that particular circumstance, grieving that particular type of loss. It gets real, and I think that Hannah did a beautiful job playing Tiff in this episode, and playing it very true. Like, it took me a while to get on camera to actually be able to talk about it because it kind of felt like I was like facing myself during certain points in time. And I really just have to give so much credit to one of my best friends who supported me through that time, because it was a very rough time, and she got to see that the way that we got to see, you know, Tiff's tribe rallying around her while she can't make heads and tails of life, while she's feeling like she can't even take care of her child that's still left with her because she doesn't feel like she can actually go on every single day. It's hard for the person grieving. It's hard for the people around because they don't know what to say. They don't know what to do. And I think that they just knocked that particular element of the episode out of the park. And I think that it was brilliant in that, one, the performance is brilliant, but then two, Rob, while a supporting character for most part, like he had a little bit more going on towards the end of last season, and I want to take out Douda, you know, plot, cool, but he still was a very real presence within the makeup of this community that we have grown to love and that we have been watching. And I think that how they chose to handle the fallout and the grieving and the tracking the grief, specifically with Tiff and Alicia, I think that they did a really beautiful job of honoring how important Rob's character was, even with him not being like the Trig or the Kevin of the show. So I'm really, really grateful for that. Got that out the way. Now I'm going to go focus on other things that feel a little less close to home, a little less personal. I thoroughly enjoyed the first episode, y'all. I think that they are off to a brilliant start. Nuck had me last season until he dropped Rob. Now I don't know how to feel because I was swooning over dude. Like, he fine as fuck. Like, he just is that nigga. He's that guy, but you drop Rob. Like, you killed Douda and then turn around and drop Rob. So then now you moving and you're a little bit conflicted because you still, you know, got to reestablish the organization, stabilize everything, and we get it, but I'm struggling to root for you because you dropped Rob, but he's so fine. Then they got him being a daddy down at the Botanical Gardens or wherever the hell you that took him. You got your son and Emmett down there, y'all asses is bonded. I don't know what we're gonna do with Nuck this season, y'all, because I don't know where he's gonna fall. Like, he has this good guy inside, and that he doesn't actually want to, you know, do the criminal life the way that Douda did it on the real shady, shiesty stuff. He feels like they can rob, they can steal, they can do whatever within certain codes. Everybody go home at the end of the day and like basically turn this into like a 9-to-5 ass criminal life. I don't know. And it's like, that seems cool in theory, Nuck, but that's not how the streets actually work. You're going to get pressed at some point. And also, it's like, you drop Rob, but then you also set your cousin up whom you couldn't kill to be killed by Alicia and take the heat off of you. It was so dope. The choice to have Alicia start the episode off having Nuck in her, like, in her view, and I'm coming to kill whoever killed my son, and you have the man right there, but then he is able to talk you out of it and redirect you to Zay's ass, and then Zay's reputation preceding him. That's what got Zay killed, honestly. Nuck didn't get Zay killed. Zay's erraticism, his instability, and his greediness with his rep, and on top of his full-on reputation, is what got his ass killed, because people were so easily able to believe that you were capable of dropping Rob because you've been moving shiesty, you've been moving shady, you've been moving greedily all along, all while your little pastor's daughter girlfriend was just telling you, you need to be quiet, you need to move smooth, you too cocky, you too arrogant, you too Zay, and now your ass is too dead. Hate to see it, but I really can't say that, because I don't mind that you're gone. Honestly, once they introduced Rotimi last season, I was just like, oh, well, what the hell they need Zay for? Because Rotimi is always going to play that sneaky ass Dre from Power to me. I know he's capable of more. He's a really incredible actor, so this is no shade to Rotimi. But his character is very much so coming up here to give the Pastor Light version of Andre. And if we got him, then we don't need Zay, because those are basically the same, just different fonts. So yeah, we should have seen the writing on the wall. Zay, you was always going to be out of here. They needed a fall guy. They needed a body for Rob that was never going to be able to go off without a hitch. Then there's additional fallout that happens because Bianca watches the killing of Zay, and now she's out. I think that this means that once Tiff is able to pull it together a little bit, I could totally see Alicia trying to get Tiff to run the bar, the lounge area, because Bianca's out. She don't want no parts of it. Douda is dead, and she actually did enjoy hunching on his ass, but she was more loyal to Alicia, so she went ahead and set him up. And then she had to watch Zay die, and she like, listen, I'm a lover, not a fighter, so I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. So I think that that's going to be set up. I haven't watched the trailer for the season, y'all, so I don't really have a ton of predictions, but it feels like that's the next best thing, because when Bianca's like, I can't be here, you can have the lounge, I don't really give a damn. She's like, girl, I don't got the capacity for that. And that's Alicia, I'm saying. And she's like, well, that's not my problem. Bianca's like, you're gonna have to figure it out. And I think her way of figuring it out will be Tiff. And that's interesting, because for the most part with Rob's death, I do think that their weed business might be dead. He was a big part of that. I don't know if Tiff is going to feel strong enough to be able to continue on without him by her side. So maybe the lounge will be the thing that could be the new thing for her, without her having a wound of like having to step in and do something alone that she was originally doing with Rob. What's also going to be like the big conflict, I think, for her this season is that she is pregnant. By the end of this first episode, we get to see that Tiff is pregnant with Rob's baby. And baby, that right there, I could not imagine at the time where I was at, and like to also have that be a thing that you have to think on. And I'm saying that you have to think on because not everybody just immediately is like, okay, no, I'm going to definitely keep it. And we don't know that to be the case for Tiff. I cannot wait to watch that conversation play out over the course of this show, because I think it's a very real conversation to have. And I think that Tiff's character is gonna go on an interesting journey this season, and I can't wait to see it. Now let's talk about let's talk about Kiesha, and let's talk about Emmett. I want to root for them. Like, I actually really do like Kiesha and Emmett as a couple, but Emmett is not growing fast enough for me, I think. And I know people are going to be coming at me. They're going to be like, Erica, nothing is never good enough for you. And it's going to be like, y'all going to try to have my head. Some people going to try to have my head because, yes, Emmett has grown. I am not taking away how he has grown. But in listening to the conversation that they had when Kiesha was trying to tell him, like, we're going to go ahead and take EJ off of Tiff's hands, she needs a break, he immediately like, well, what about us? What about us being stressed? First of all, Kiesha is pregnant right now, and she's agreeing to take this on. You ain't carrying nobody's child nowhere. You have none of your actual kids full-time in your home, in this big beautiful home. You do have Kiesha's son, but y'all have a ton of help now with Nuck. So the idea of you not even being able to grasp immediately taking your son full time for a month, but you have been 100% fine with Tiff having his ass full time for however many years. How old is EJ? Maybe 6 now. Wild to me. It just little things like that still point to the levels of immaturity that Emmett have and how selfish he can be. For Kiesha to be at a place of like, we want to show up for Tiff because this is hard. I could never imagine. And you would hope, right? Like if something happened to Emmett, you would hope people would show up for Kiesha the same way that they're trying to show up for Tiff. And he immediately wanted to veto it. Now, mind you, they do wind up allowing EJ to stay, and Kiesha has to wind up talking him into it. But Emmett just be a little bit too slow on the upkeep for me, and it's a little bit frustrating in watching him. Oh, going back real quick to Zay. Zay beats up Jake when Jake gives him back his investment money, which ultimately makes Trig run down on Zay. Again, Zay, you asked for it. I meant to say that in the Zay portion, but I forgot. So that's what happens. We do get to see Jake in this episode. Now, talking about Trig or Victor. Okay, I don't know how to feel, y'all, because Fatima gives him an ultimatum. I don't want to live in Chicago. I'm ready to go. It's too much violence. It's a little bit too close to home, which I get, Miss Girl. But you also have already given him an ultimatum before. So at this point, I'm just like, do you even want to really be in this relationship? What are we actually doing? And part of me felt like, I'm annoyed that we're going back down this road where you're about to walk out on this man again when this dude went through hell and high water to try to get your ass back last time, only for us to be here. And the only difference is now I don't think that he's going to chase her. Like, I don't think that Trig is really going to put up much of a fight. If she really wants to leave Chicago, I think he's just going to let her leave. And honestly, I can't really blame him. Like, yes, Rob passing and Douda passing, it's a lot. But to Trig's point, this has always been how it's been in Chicago. And I'm not trying to put fault on anybody. So like, if you really feel like you can't be here anymore, then definitely go. But I understand why Trig can't leave. And I also don't think that leaving will be the best thing for him, since he seems so, enriched by being able to give back to this community that he was once a terrorist in. Like, he was once a part of this gang violence and once a part of the XYZ, and now he's an elected official. He's a pillar in the community. He's a beacon of light, and you want to pull him out as a resource within this community, kind of for selfish reasons, because you don't feel comfortable and you don't feel safe. Which, again, if you don't, cool, but maybe it's time for y'all to actually part ways. And I hate it when she said, oh, you're gonna choose this city over me. And it was just like, maybe if that's how the hell you want to word it, but that was just so selfish to say. And part of me felt like, for a split second, don't get me wrong, like, I don't think this now, but like in the first watch, I was like, damn, do they not have nothing else for her to do, that they're going back down this road of her basically doing this whole ultimatum BS again? Because this just feels like a lot. Now, what would be, I guess, a different part is if they try to make it a long distance relationship, which doesn't feel like that's what she's going to actually wind up doing. It feels like if Trig don't leave if Trig don't leave Chicago with her, then they are completely done. And I'm like, well, I guess y'all ass is going to be done. Hopefully the next one that comes stays. I don't know. I am thoroughly enjoying Lynn Whitfield as Alicia in this show. Like, I think that she is so brilliant. I think that she's so dynamic. I think that her performances are so beautiful. And the woman, the mother who has lost her son, that is willing to go scorched earth to avenge him, is such a beautiful story, I think, to tell. And she is just telling it beautifully, and how she navigates everything. Now, ultimately, by the end of the season, I think that she's definitely going to find out she made a misstep, and that Nuck was the one to actually blame Zay's girlfriend. Zay admitted to his little pastor daughter girlfriend, I don't remember her name, y'all gonna have to tell me in the comment section, that it was Nuck that actually dropped Rob. So there are people aside from Bakari who knows the real truth. So we still are, or Nuck is still in danger of the truth coming out and Alicia coming to finish the business, because at the end of the day, whoever the hell killed her son will definitely pay for it. So that is always going to be looming. But it's interesting because they are seemingly going to not necessarily work together, but stay out of each other's way. And I thought it was cool how Trig goes and presses the pastor to show up for the community and do a better job versus just siphoning money out of the community and not actually giving back to them. And when he goes to like press the pastor about it, the pastor agrees, but then he goes to go and try to make some type of deal and get in good with Nuck's ass, and now he's Nuck's spiritual advisor and he's taxing him $2,000 for every single visit. So now he's back wrapped up in this. It's like, so are you going to do right by the people or are you not? Which one is it? I've never really liked that little sleazy ass pastor Ezekiel. He is quite literally terrible. We still got the thing pending about Jake sleeping with the pastor's wife, the damn first lady. So we already know that storyline is coming. They have to do something with that. You can't just let Jake get away with that. The drama. We don't get to see Papa in this first episode. I don't remember seeing Papa in the first episode. Did we? I don't remember. And I don't remember Papa doing anything if we did. But we do get to see Bakari, my baby. We don't get to see Nay, and they still not together. They still struggling, but Bakari is finding his footing. He's still working on the on his book. Nuck is going to allow him to work on the book and work with him. He still feels caught between a rock and a hard place because he wants to show up and be loyal to Nuck, but he also still wants to do what he has to do. His professor works with his wife to talk to Alicia to set him up to get this scholarship so that he can actually enroll in college. So we get in college bound Bakari, which I don't know how you gonna balance the streets in the books, but we're gonna try to watch you do it. And you also writing a damn novel about your life. Okay, Bakari, we just love that you're not in the sunken place no damn more. Now all we need him to do now is to go get his girl back, because I'm going to need some Bakari and Nay this season. I'm just going to need it. I need it immediately. We ain't get no Gemma in that first episode, but you know, it really did set the tone, I think, for what we can expect to be a phenomenal season. And it really gave us the updates, like right after Rob falls, we really pick up in this episode, and then we get to figure out what goes on and what happens next over the next couple days. And I thought it was brilliant. Those are my thoughts on the Shy season 7 episode 1. Y'all let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Be on the lookout for my The Shy episode breakdowns, but I'm also going to talk about characters because I'm so intrigued by this cast that we have right now, and the characters are just so rich and so dynamic. Shout out to Lena Waithe, shout out to Paramount Plus and Showtime for keeping The Shy on the air. We are now in season 7, which is an amazing feat. It's such a dope thing for them to do, and to think about where they started with the show and where we are now. It's been so many really dope seasons of phenomenal storytelling, and they really should be patting themselves on the back. All right, again, let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and I'm gonna see you in the next video.
At all, I got you. I'm worried.
Yeah, I want my sons to be better than me too. This way. See the fish.
So you didn't kill him.
I promise. All I did was hem him up a bit.
Why do you feel like you have to save everybody?